All right, here we go. Well, good morning. Hope you're having a good Friday. So we decided we were going to sit outside this morning because we thought it was supposed to be warm, but it hasn't warmed up yet. Oh well. So it's been a while since we've done an FCA Friday. So Gabe and I thought that we would do a little FCA lesson for us. Real short, don't worry. But hope you get something out of it this morning. So, about a month ago now, at the beginning of March, we went on the FCA retreat, and we talked about, the guy talked about these three guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and it kind of talked about how their faith, are you done? Okay, don't eat mommy's. And it talked about their faith and how the king, said, well, everyone has to worship me, and then these guys didn't, and so they got thrown in the fire, and they, despite knowing that they were going to get killed, they kept following Jesus. So that was a cool thing. We have to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to do no matter what everybody else is doing. Well, fast forward a month, and now we're in quarantine, sort of, social distancing, and having to make sure that we are keeping our distance from people and just kind of having, we're isolated, it seems like, and it kind of stinks. So I wanted to talk about Job in the Bible and preface that by saying, y'all, we are so blessed. Some of us might have family members that get sick or something like that, and that will be hard. But as of right now, we're literally being asked to stay home, play video games, watch TV. Okay. Watch Netflix, hang out. We're asked to just chill, literally. So I don't think we're really suffering, aside from not seeing our friends and not seeing other people. Can you stop so mommy can talk?
Not talk.
Oh, Gabe talk.
Hey, big kiss.
So it's kind of one of those things where we're not really suffering, but as a whole, our world might be suffering. I mean, our economy is kind of struggling because of this. Sorry about my dog. We're having to, have businesses that are shutting down because they have to keep their distance, and restaurants and stuff like that. But that's not the end of the world. So this guy named Job in the Bible, it says, let me read you the verse exactly. So it says, in the very first verse of Job, it says, in the land of Uz, there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. So this guy did what God wanted him to do. He was righteous, meaning that he lived the way he should. He just was a man of God. Well, then Satan, of course, being Satan, he said, Lord, this guy is doing great because he's prospering. He's got a great family. He's got a lot of kids. He's got a lot of stuff. Back then, being rich meant you had a lot of cattle and sheep and goats and stuff. So Satan said, well, he is praising you and he's doing what you want him to do because he's got everything. Well, God said, okay, take it away and see what happens. So Satan, it says it within a day, 4 of his servants came up and said, your cattle are gone, your sheep are gone, your servants are gone, and all your kids have died. Okay, well, if it were me, if my 1 kid and my 2 dogs and my chickens, just the kid, forget everything else, that would be hard. I mean, I would have a really hard time coming back from that. Well, then you take into account, it took everything, his money. His money was really his animals. And so take away your entire, everything you've worked for, and take away your family. And that's hard. So, then the story goes on. Despite him being sad, Job was thankful to God, and he said, God, I'm still going to serve you. Well, then Satan decides that he's going to afflict Job's health. And so he got some kind of sickness and sores all over his body, it says. And still Job was going to praise God. Then Job's friends came, and they sat with him for a while and just, were mourning with him. And then they told him, your God must not love you. You must have done something wrong. You need to turn away from him. Well, Job thankfully did not listen to them. And in Job 19, he says, I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand on the earth. And then he also says, even now my witness is in heaven, my advocate is on high. So despite all of that, despite literally everything being taken away from Job, he said, I know God is real. I know God has my best interest, and he's got me. So just wanted to share that and give some encouragement this morning, because we are in no way, shape, or form suffering, y'all. Okay? As a whole, yeah, this sucks because we can't be with our friends. We can't go out and about and do a bunch of extra stuff. But we get to hang out at the house, watch Netflix, chill out. Like, we're not suffering. We're just having to stay still. But, we have our own little form of, we have our own little form of just a different kind of life. Now, our country may be suffering, and there's a lot of healthcare workers, and there's a lot of people that are sick, and they maybe are suffering. But just kind of think back to Job, like, A, somebody's got it worse than you do, so you need to be thankful for what you've got. And B, despite the hard things, we need to make sure we need to make sure that we are remembering who's in charge, because we're not. The president is not. He's doing what he can, but there's nobody in charge of our lives except God. So we just need to remember that and just live thankfully, because we are so blessed and we don't even realize it a lot of times. So, Gabe, tell the big kids to have a great day. You gonna tell them? Say, big kids, have a great day.
Because a good day.
Okay. All right. And we love you, and we hope you have a good weekend, and we'll see you later.